All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about that bold, fiery, can't-be-stopped energy of the Zodiac's very first spark, Aries. We are going to break down what truly makes this sign tick, from its absolute core all the way to the powerful forces that shape it. Let's get into it. You know, this quote right here, it just perfectly gets to the heart of an Aries. The Aries spirit is fundamentally driven. I mean, this is an energy that has to be chasing something, always on a mission, always on a quest. And it's not just about being aggressive, it's about having a real purpose that fuels every single thing they do. Okay, so here's how we're gonna break it all down. We'll start with the basics, what the sun and the sign of Aries even represent in the first place. Then we'll build up to the classic Aries personality, dig into its ruling planet, Mars, and then we get to a really fascinating twist that explains why not all Aries people feel like a stereotypical Aries. And finally, we'll wrap up with how to actually channel all of that intense energy. All right, first up, the spark. To really truly get the Aries personality, we have to start with the two fundamental building blocks, what the sun is doing in your chart and the unique energy of Aries itself. You know, your sun sign is way more than just your daily horoscope. In astrology, the sun is literally the center of your identity. It's your soul, your ego, it's your purpose. It is the thing that gives you life and makes you feel like you. That little dot in the middle of the sun symbol, it actually represents you, the individual self standing separate from the whole. It's where all our life force comes from. So, when you take that core identity, the sun, and place it in Aries, well, you get the first spark of creation. Aries is literally the infant of the Zodiac. It kicks off the whole astrological new year. This energy is all about the courage to take that very first step, you know, full of raw initiative and a fresh perspective. It's about taking action, moving your body and just going for it, even if you might stumble and fall along the way. Okay, so we have the spark. Now let's watch it catch fire as we move into our next section, the flame. This is where that spark really ignites into the full-blown personality archetype we all think of when we hear Aries. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, Aries energy is just unapologetically youthful. They march to the beat of their own drum and could not care less what other people think. As a cardinal sign, they're born pioneers, built to kick things off and lead the way. They seem to run on this bottomless well of physical energy. Seriously, they're the Energizer Bunny of the Zodiac. And being symbolized by the ram, they are completely headstrong. They see a challenge, they put their head down and they just go, sometimes bulldozing right through obstacles. And they absolutely love a challenge. A good debate or a bit of healthy tension doesn't scare them off. In fact, they can find it pretty satisfying. But you gotta ask, right? Where does all of this fire, this drive, this need for a challenge actually come from? Well, to answer that, we've got to look at the powerhouse behind the throne, Aries' ruling planet. And this right here perfectly shows the two sides of Mars, the planet of war and action that rules Aries. On one hand, you have this divine instinct. This gives Aries an incredible gut-level intuition, like a direct phone line to knowing exactly what to do and just acting on it, instantly. But then you've got the flip side, raw conflict. That exact same energy can just come out as pure conflict. It can make them super hasty, quick to jump the gun, and yeah, they can just steamroll right over people's feelings without even realizing it.
All right, this is where things get really interesting because we need to talk about the twist. This gets to a confusion a lot of people have about their sun sign. What if you're an Aries, but you just don't feel like that headstrong, unstoppable warrior?
So, does any of this sound familiar? Are you sitting there listening and thinking, wait a minute, that is not me at all? Well, if you are, you're not alone, and there is a very clear astrological reason for that feeling. Well, here's the secret. The key to really understanding your Aries energy, it isn't just in your sun sign. It's all about the condition of your Mars. How your Aries personality actually comes out depends completely on its ruling planet. I love this analogy. Just think of it like this. Your Aries sun is the king. It sits on the throne. It's your core identity. But Mars? Mars is the general of the army. Mars is the one who actually has to carry out the king's orders. So what happens if that general is maybe a little hesitant or, let's say, poorly placed? For example, your Mars might be in a sign that hates conflict, like Libra, or a sign that tends to internalize action, like Cancer. The general just doesn't want to fight, and that can make the whole kingdom feel really turbulent. Your confidence can waver, and you might shy away from the very things your Aries sun wants you to do. Meanwhile, the Aries king on the throne is screaming, What are you waiting for? Charge! So that leads us perfectly into our last section, the wildfire. Look, whether your Mars is strong or maybe needs a little bit of support, all of that Aries energy has to go somewhere. The real key is learning how to tame that flame and channel it into some really productive power. Let's walk through these because they're super practical. That classic Aries challenge of impulsive reactions? Try the 24-hour rule. Just give yourself a day before you react. For all that bottled up energy, getting physical is like a non-negotiable. Sports, boxing, martial arts, anything that gives that tension a healthy place to go. When it comes to taking criticism, the work is learning to see that not everything is a fight. And this is a big one. If that warrior energy doesn't go outward, it can easily turn into an internal war. It is absolutely vital to transmute that intensity into something creative or physical to avoid it turning inward in a damaging way. So, when you boil it all down, that's what the Aries Sun is. It's that raw, pure spark of new life, new beginnings. It's the incredible courage to be the first one to start, to lead, to just act. The real question isn't whether or not you have the fire. The question is, what are you going to create with it?